Hang on. Why is there two shows? Pardon the false start here, where there's a massive echo going on.
It's because we were too prepared.
This is probably only on my end. Where is this coming from? Oh, there it is. Okay, all right. Sorry about that, folks. We are going to do the opening again, and we're going to do it right this time. Sorry about that. Take two. From WDWNT, the worldwide leader in Disney Parks news, this is ParksCenter. Hello there, everybody, and welcome to tonight's edition of ParksCenter. My name's Ben, and joining me we have Tyler.
Oh, hello from Canada.
Jill.
Welcome to the deep.
Tom.
Tonight! Oh,
and Pete.
I'm sorry, we started late. It's after 9.
It's fair.
PTSD,
it's fair.
You know. Yeah.
Sivako from Commando Pete.
All right, folks. Let's kick off tonight's show. Apparently, Pete's been promoted to Commando with the Resistance. Fair warning. Right. There are spoilers in the following discussion. If you do not want any spoilers for Rise of the Resistance, please come back in about 7 minutes.
I'd make it 8.
Yeah, 7.
You
All
have
right.
a timer at this one.
Yeah. Just wait for us to switch to the next topic on the side there. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Rise of the Resistance. It's opened. People have written it. The review. The reviews are in. They appear good, given this title of a return to form for Imagineering. Who wrote this? Tom, you wrote this, right? Yeah.
It was an okay article.
Positive. Are we sure?
No. So what'd you think of this?
I mean, the review says what I thought. It's the first time since Pandora that I felt really great about something in the domestic parks. It is a quality we haven't seen here in a long time. It is what we can do when the proper money is given to a project. I don't know that I expect this to happen again for a while, but I'm hopeful that people are going to see this. They're going to come and see this and be like, this is amazing. This is fantastic. This is what Disney can do. And then they're going to go see Ratatouille in a couple months and be like, oh, this is not the same thing. This is the same ride system, but it's very different, and I don't know about it. Yeah.
Pete, I think you got to ride this too, right? What did you think of this?
I did. I've done it a few times now. I'm blown away. As everyone knows, I'm your resident, not your Star Wars expert, but just as a fan of Disney parks and the way they do attractions, they exceeded all my expectations. It's as someone who doesn't know the full story, it told me a story throughout the entire ride. So even though I recommend you knowing Star Wars, I thoroughly enjoyed this. I enjoy it more and more every time I ride it, which I think is missing from a lot of recent attractions, is that rewritability factor that Tom talks about in his article. Is I want to keep going on because I keep finding things, or even that second time we rode, I think with Tom, I pointed out Finn, and we didn't even see that the first time we were on it. It's super cool. It just they we can do spoilers, right?
Yeah.
So just the way the entire trackless ride system works. Not knowing where you're headed next, there is constant movement, and you're facing one way then the other, and you're usually launched with other cars, so you're intertwining with other cars. Then you're going right or left, and it's not like you're becoming super disoriented, but there's constant surprises, and it makes you look where you want to look, and if you turn right, you see something else. It's a blend of animatronics and screens. Again, not your biggest fan of screens, but in certain situations they really work, especially when you feel like you're actually. You know what it gave me hope for is the new Star Wars resort that's going to open up. Because when I was looking up these screens, you feel like you're actually in space. You see
the space
these TIE fighters coming in. and it just looks like you're actually in space when you're looking out these giant windows out of this vehicle. It's super cool. It's unbelievable. I don't know how specific I'm going to get, but I mean, this will be the ride that everyone talks about for a long, long time.
Yeah,
yeah, I'm pretty happily surprised at like how positive the reviews have been of all of this. Like it's like even people who I was not expecting to get much out of this that just came out of this and loved it. One of the things that struck me from your review is that you said this was really family friendly. Is this something that everybody can ride?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm putting my mother on it, then anybody can ride it. Yeah, it's a very mild drop. She'll be fine, and if she can ride it, anybody can ride it. That's how I feel. And that's what an e-ticket is to me. It's something everybody can ride. It doesn't have to be a thrill ride. And I don't even remember the last e-ticket that was built in the U.S. that everyone could go on. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't know what qualifies.
I was going to say, Lauren doesn't like spinning. She's got a weak stomach. She won't go on Star Tours, Tower of Terror. The list goes on. And she
I think great movie ride.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
She wanted to go on over and over again. She said this is the greatest ride. She even for me, I have a friends coming in this week, and I wasn't planning on doing this with them. I thought it'd be a good ride, but now I have to rearrange our entire schedule to figure out where we can put their kids. So I mean, because they have very, very small kids, 2 and a 1 year old, so they can't go on it. But I want to get them on this ride. This is the ride that I feel like everyone must do when they're at Walt Disney World. This is what. When they say, like, why do you love Disney so much? This is the ride. This is the reason why. This is Disney magic.
The thing that really impressed me most about this as someone just watching videos and stuff was just how good all of the queue was for this. Like, I mean, it does not feel like all of this queuing in line that does occur is actually a line. It really feels like it's just more of the story. Does it feel like that in person? Like
the regular queue is not great.
Okay.
The cave.
You're talking about the pre-shows or the queue?
Well, he's talking about the whole waiting experience.
The whole thing.
Like through the Resistance base is not great. It's okay. It's not Flight of Passage. Like Flight of Passage, you go into different biomes and have very different experiences. You have this outdoor part. There's lots to look at. You have the caves, and then you move on. You're outside. You're in the bioluminescent forest, and then you're in the laboratory. There's a lot of different things going on there. Rise of the Resistance, that's not happening. There's not a lot to look at the outside. It's like it's Under the Sea Journey of the Little Mermaid without the castle out there. This is what it reminds me of. And then the base is just cages. So as much as the pre-shows are unbelievable, the queue it's okay.
I don't know. I'm going to say it's a little better than okay. And again, I'm not the Star Wars guy, but yes, the pre-shows are unbelievable. But here's the thing. Here are a couple of pluses. One, they built in benches into most of it, or places where you can sit. So if you are standing over
we're now applauding ledges, ladies and gentlemen.
It's just because we don't see these here, but for people who are literally standing up for that full hour, and if this ride breaks down, I know people who stood in this area right here for up to 3 hours. So with these little built-in ledge along the wall, it is nice to have your kids to have a place to sit, or you can sit and put them on your lap. The other thing is, and again, not the Star Wars guy, is it is loaded with a lot of Easter eggs from what I'm told. And if you go through and you look in your certain rooms, there are a lot of little things that you can pick up on and find or search for. So those, I think, are
like amazing things, though. They're not like, I don't know, Star Tours just arrived. They're not like killer Easter eggs. They're not like, I don't.
But there's something to look at.
Oh my God! It's not like finding the Nautilus in that Little Mermaid queue.
Besides me, you, and Ben, like I don't think people are as excited like in Avatar where you're like, oh, look at this. I mean, it's a lot of stimulus, but like this I think will hit on those.
It's a far more interesting environment. No,
it is more interesting for sure.
I think everybody's going to mentally check in, and you can see because everybody's on their phone in the queue. Everyone's going to mentally check in once you get to the first pre-show, and from that first pre-show on, you're going to be locked in.
Yeah.
You're going to have your full attention at that point. The queue is nice. It's certainly not bad. It's just not. It's not going to hold attention for long, and it's not. It's already not. But it's a very minor thing in the grand scheme of things.
Once you hit the first pre-show, to me, the wait is over because you're so occupied the entire time. There's no more waiting. You're on the ride. You're part of the attraction.
Yeah. Once you're waiting in the Star Destroyer, you're so enthralled at that point that the next 10, 15 minutes, you're not. It's not a concern. But there's only so much you can do with a resistance base. It's a base in a cave. I mean, I don't know how many more cave queues they're going to build. That seems to be the only thing they do. Like every big ticket's in a cave.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so does a building. I mean, every e-ticket's in a cave. Racers is in a cave. Flight of Passage is in a cave. Everything's in a cave. I don't know. They got to come up with something else now. There's got to be something not in a cave.
What about Splash Mountain?
Cave.
There's cave.
Totally a cave.
There's a house.
Cave-esque.
Totally a cave. Totally a cave.
So,
Big Thunder's a cave.
moving on from spoilers and apparently
Spoiler
hashtag
alert,
it's a
there's
cave.
The key was a cave. The key was a cave.
It's the cave.
Someone's
So-
like, it's ruined. I can't go now.
So this attraction, as the signpost outside states that there is a swift drop, there also may be a swift rise in your wait time while you're in line, because it tends to go down a bit. This has been a bit of a problem since day one, and I believe hour one. Tom, I think you rode this and it broke down like the first ride.
I've been evacuated 3 times. I've been walked off of the ride 3 times at this point.
For completeness, how many times have you ridden it?
There was a period where I had walked through the ride as many times as I had ridden through the ride. That has now changed. I've had some more successful run-throughs, but that being said, the breakdowns have increased. So day one, I think it was 1 or 2, and now it's consistently more. As we've gone on in days, it seems to have gotten worse. Yesterday was particularly bad, and then today they had like 2 back-to-back, and it meant that Group 40 didn't get called until 2 o'clock, 2:30.
I was group 41, and I got called at 2:45 or something, 2:40.
Yeah.
And I was 41 today.
It's rough. It's not done. We knew it wasn't done. I mean, it's great that people have experienced it. Obviously, some of us have been on a full ride through, so it's not at the point where it doesn't work at all. It's at the point where it doesn't work half the day. That's still not the point at which you open the ride, but some executives wanted to keep their jobs, so...
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'm not saying what executives or...
For the folks who haven't ridden it yet, is this something that could conceivably be like scaring you off from coming down? That the fact that you might get here and have the ride either break on you while you're on it, or be so delayed that you wouldn't be able to get on it in time?
It's a cool breakdown. It's one of those ones where you're not going to get stuck in like a precarious place. So I don't.
Yeah, to be honest,
it's not an uncomfortable breakdown.
I was going to say, it wasn't a bad evacuation either, where I was stuck in a spot for a particularly long amount of time. They came and got me they tried to obviously fix it, I'm sure, for the first 15 minutes. Yeah. But I didn't sit in the same spot for more. I think maybe it was the 17th minute they came and let us out. And but that first 15 minutes, they were trying to fix the ride, I'm sure. And they came, got us, easy walkout. And then they did the right thing. They gave us the Fast Pass to come back on and a Fast Pass for anything else in the park in the meantime as well. So, I mean, and for the people who didn't even get on, you guys got the one-day park hoppers. So, I mean, it's not they're trying to do the right thing.
I don't think anyone really wants to come back to Hollywood Studios for the second day in a row after you waited there all day to ride that the first time.
See, I think
they're giving you a park hopper.
But the only thing I would have liked is that they gave those people an early boarding group. No, you have to open the ride. So living in a real world,
well, their Fast Pass is good in the morning, so they could have showed up at 7 o'clock and been on. Fast Pass worked all day. No.
But this is a ride. I mean, this is the ride that is, just to go back to it, that is worth getting up at 4:30 or 5 in the morning to go, especially if it's your first time. Like 100%, they plan it into your vacation where this is the day you wake up early and whatever it is, because you must get there, get an early boarding group. If you're in the first, Tom, you probably know a little better than me. I've only been on a few days. If you're in the first 20 boarding groups, you usually can get on in the first hour and a half, 2 hours.
Well, I mean,
if you're 1 through
you don't
20.
even know most days what the first 20 boarding groups are, because every day they start with a different number to kind of throw everybody off.
Yeah. Well, day one is 11, right?
1, they started at 8, they started at 12, they started at 14. So if you're in the first 10, you can get out of there before the first breakdown, and that's the key. But what happened today is our own Joe Hogan.
Oh, we should.
What happened? What did I miss?
Yeah, just the
what you
concept of
said,
you can get in and out before the first breakdown as an actual concern for a Disney attraction. Oh my god.
Like,
Yeah,
it's
it's
a ride
true,
that's
but
gonna
like
break
Joe
down.
Hogarty, or staff member Joe Hogarty, showed up today at 6:10. I showed up at 6:28. Joe picked
I
one
showed
line.
up
I had
at
picked another line.
6:45.
I somehow got in 10 minutes before Joe, even though he had gotten in line at 6:10. I got group 31. Joe got group 43.
Good.
got after me?
So like, yeah, I don't. He picked this line that just wouldn't move, and he really got hosed. And I went to guest relations after. I was like, this seems a little unfair. And they were like, yeah, we can't really do anything. I was like, okay. I mean, he was here at 6:10.
Great experience there.
And he's group 43, but okay. And they didn't like when I at one point I was like, yeah, they could just hit like accept on the iPad, right? Like no matter what anyone in
Yeah.
the boarding group, they could hit that button right there. Like, yeah, but we're not doing that at this time.
They gave me a really hard time about that when I went back on day one, actually, for that later boarding group I had. I had missed my boarding time by like 10 minutes. And they were like, we're really not supposed to let you on. And I had given my paper fast pass. Who did I give it to you? I don't know who I gave it to. But apparently that you could walk on with any time. But since I did that boarding group,
Yeah.
they were giving me a hard time over 10 minutes. And I was like, guys, it's 10 minutes. It's opening day. It broke on me this morning. And finally, after talking to a supervisor, they can let me on over 10 minutes.
Wow.
So I guess they're being very, very tight about your boarding group and time, and you must have it, And I get why. It's going to be the most popular ride at Walt Disney World for a long time.
Yeah. They're having enough
How long
capacity
of a window
issues.
do you have?
What?
How long of a window do you have with your boarding group?
2
So
hours.
if they call
2
your boarding
hours.
group, 2 hours.
Yeah,
Okay.
2 hours,
So
yeah.
it's
Plus
a
or minus,
But a lot of people are
plus
leaving
or
the
minus a
park, so it's-
breakdown.
Yeah, unless
So
it's a breakdown.
between
And-
like group 1 and 2 is 2 hours for them to actually get everybody on.
No,
No,
Before, like, the
no,
next
they call
boarding group-
No,
multiple.
it's
Yeah,
randomly.
they call
So, like they might
Yeah.
call like 10 groups in an hour, but some hours they might
Yeah.
call 2 groups. It's completely random.
Some
so
hours they
it's
might
hard
call
to time it.
none.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's hard to time. So if you want to stay in the park, you don't want to sit there all day. You might go to another park or Epcot or back to your hotel. So like you have to like stalk your phone until okay, our boarding group is coming up next. And again, that next could be 5 minutes or 2 hours depending on breakdowns.
Yeah, I've been
But
group
once you're cold,
23
2 hours.
and walked off the ride at 7:30, and I've been group 23 and not got on the ride till 10. So you don't really know. You don't know when you wake up that morning what's going to happen.
Jeez. Overall, is the boarding pass system like a good thing, or would you rather have this
Yeah,
be like
because who wants to
5-hour
get
lines?
dumped- Who wants to get dumped out of that queue 15
That-
times a day?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't the other thing is I don't understand the people who show up later and are like, I had no idea. Open the internet. Do some basic research for your vacation. I can't imagine going anywhere without at least doing some minor Google search.
Yeah, I had
Like
this
the
argument
things
with
I'm
other people
interested in.
today in the parks, and the only thing I'll add to that, because I totally agree, is how are you coming and spending all this money and not doing any research? But two, the only thing I wish they kind of would do for all these people spending all that money who might be living under a rock is they should be telling you, especially if you're staying on Disney resorts, if you plan on going to Rise of the Resistance, you will need a boarding group
They
first thing in
do.
the
There's
morning.
a sign
Yeah.
in the lobby.
It's not-
There's a
it's-
sign in every lobby.
It's a sign in the lobby, but I mean, this is that not everyone's seeing a sign, especially with kids. The
What do
last
you
thing they're
want them
looking
to
at is a
do?
sign.
Like come over
give-
like the hurricane warning system.
Yeah, no, I like
You
when you
need
check in that
a
it-
boarding
that's-
group.
Okay. You're
But I
going
mean,
to
look,
extremes,
here's-
sir. You're going to extremes.
There's
Disney,
a
that is
sign!
Disney though. It's not like Rise of the Resistance is the only thing at Disney that you're gonna miss out on if you don't do any research. There's
Yeah.
tons
That's
of
also
stuff that you're probably going to
But I
miss.
could
You're not
wait.
gonna get
I
reservations.
could wait
exactly.
6 hours if I want at the other ride.
And you can still stand there and wait 6 hours and not get on the ride. You know, if that's what
I like
makes you
the
happy.
boarding pass system. The only again, like it has its ups and downs, but I think this is the best system for what's going on right now. Yes, do I feel bad for people
It's
who
the best system when an executive is short-sighted and decides the ride has to open no matter what.
Well, speaking
is
of short-sighted executives, let's move over to Beaches and Cream. We've got some new concept art for this, and that looks really plain.
It's
Like that's
so
just
it looks-
basic pastel color. Like what's the
mean-
point?
It does kind of
Ugh.
look like Beach Club, though. Like,
It does,
I'm not the biggest fan of Beach Club's decor. I feel like Beach Club's decor is pretty plain. So, to be honest, I mean, I don't love this, but I think it blends right into the rest of the resort.
Ugh, Buzz, your girlfriend. Woof. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really a fan of this. I like more Disney pizzazz. This looks like a regular ice. I mean, if they're going for that beach, it does look like an ice cream shop in the Northeast. If that's what they are going for,
Yeah.
I could see
Yeah,
this
Friendlies.
being. Yeah, exactly. And I don't like
But
it.
like
I
a
want little
remodeled
Disney
Friendlies, not an old Friendlies.
Yeah.
This is a bizarre time. We're in like the blanding of everything. Like we did that joke on News Tonight about how the hotel rooms are all just like white
Yeah.
and gray, and now like the restaurants are like well, I came
shops are
to
too.
Even the
Coronado.
Hollywood Studios sign is
It's
just
bland.
standard print.
Yeah, everything is getting
Like-
some stuff is getting bland, but Star Wars stuff is getting more elaborate, which is confusing.
Yeah, I mean, and look at World of Disney. Like, they totally watered that place down. It used to have so
Yeah,
much
good
more
point.
character. So this is, I mean, I feel like this is what they're doing everywhere. The shops are doing this. Some of the restaurants are doing this. The hotels.
Now World of Disney looks like where the mob disposes of the bodies.
And they spit on you when you walk in.
Yeah, it's all theming. Yeah.
Can we talk about
Who's
this?
saying,
It's
like,
supposed
there's
to
too
be
much
like a classic soda fountain? What about this art says classic soda fountain? Oh yeah, my parents when they were growing up, they had all sorts of like just plain white wall soda,
And
soda pop
orbs.
places they could go. Yeah, with orbs and modern seating. Yep. It lost
like
all of its
somebody-
character. It has no character. Someone else pointed out that the sirens are missing. The siren lights are missing from the ceiling for the kitchen.
Does
sink.
anyone have a siren nearby?
No, I didn't.
I want to hear that
mean-
siren. Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
That's the
A whole can.
For a while, I felt like I was missing out on like restaurants and like eateries that you can go to at like the hotels because I've only ever eaten at like the quick service place in like the value resorts. I've never traveled elsewhere, and the more like they're getting like blanding down, the less I feel like going there. Honestly,
Yeah.
Now it just looks like a Swiss chalet.
yeah,
That was for Tyler.
yeah. I was gonna say, is that a Canadian only thing?
That is a Canadian. That is a Canadian
It's-
joke just for you.
It's those like restaurants like Applebee's where it's like
Yeah.
it's like what's the theme here? It's like I don't know anything. It's
The
family
theme
friendly
is
now.
I can't afford to eat anywhere else.
Yeah, that's accurate. Speaking of theme,
I've
like
given
that's
up
a
on life.
that's a good point though. Like how is the kitchen sink fitting this aesthetic like at all? Like it doesn't fit
It's
in.
actually just a Kohler. It's just a Kohler white kitchen sink. It just comes
Oh
out.
my
as your
gosh.
standard Home Depot model.
Oh.
Contractor
Comes in
grade.
a box.
Yeah.
Well, going from a Kohler white sink to black monorail. We've got a redesign, or not a redesign, a refresh, I guess I should say, of the interior and exterior of monorail black. Which the exterior, the chevrons look pretty good. The interior looks, in my opinion, this looks really nice. Like,
Looks
great.
more
I haven't
like
seen
a
this in
soda
person.
fountain than
Oh, but the thing that gets me the most about this, because we've seen a couple other monorails get refurbed at this point. The cushions here on these seats are a little bit higher quality, a little bit nicer than the ones from the other monorails. I'm a little surprised that
That
they're
already looks dirty to me.
Yeah, I mean it's the black monorail, I guess, but it's like it's just going to reflect the dark light from everywhere. But that's. Are they actually gonna try and get new monorails? Or are they gonna try and keep like improving these interiors just a little bit at a time and hope that we don't notice that they never replace them?
Supposedly they did more. Supposedly, while we are seeing exterior upgrades, they are also rebuilding portions of the trains. So this is not just cosmetic. They are doing more, but I don't know that that's, you're putting what's the famous term, lipstick on a pig? That's kind of
I was gonna
what's
say-
happening here.
That's the term. That's what people
I
say.
hope
when
they
they
hold
dress
It's
up
the
up.
on
term,
that
yeah.
one. Yeah.
Like
I like it. I think it's cool looking. I mean, I'd rather new monorails
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
I do feel like they look a little dated. Obviously, monorail is for a lot of people that magic moment when they see that monorail pass by. They know they're at Walt Disney World. That is nostalgia central. So I mean, in that case, seeing the old ones, but I mean, these are so old. I want something that looks new and exciting and super sleek and sexy. If a monorail could look sexy. So I mean, I guess this is better than nothing. I like that they're redoing it. I like that, especially that all the stickers aren't on the door and don't look obnoxious. That there's clean interiors that don't smell like, the late 80s.
Yeah.
So I guess this is a good thing. But again, like Tom said, lipstick on a pig. They're old. They're old.
They really are at this point. Like
They're not a classic
Yeah.
car.
So we're just
certain
going to
that-
keep seeing this getting refreshed over and over again, having them put some more duct tape on the inside of this until eventually they completely disintegrate instead of the partial disintegrations we've seen so far. Like, is that really
I'm still
the
hoping
plan?
a door opens while I'm on one.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the dream. I want that to happen. I'm not kidding.
That- not while you're
I just
leaning on the
love-
door, but just while you're there. It's
Honestly,
Crazy
even if I'm
leaning
leaning
on
on
the
it,
door.
I'm fine with it too.
By
I
any
mean, but there's
means necessary.
yeah. I mean, I just want it to
How
happen.
do you think we got the Skyliner accident to happen?
oh god! Don't say that. They'll believe us.
Rocking back and forth.
People believe that already. People are nuts.
We were doing the wave.
I like going on-
Skyliner.
I like going on Monorail Lime and saying really loud, like, "This is the monorail that the door came open on."
Oh, say that when some kid's like running around and like banging into the doors in the middle of. Oh my gosh!
Oh yeah.
You're probably not going to want to put your stroll over there, sir. You know what? It's all right. I hope.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I like to go into Tony's and yell, "This is where that guy died eating chicken parmesan."
It was that good. I think this is the best chicken parmesan I ever had.
Send my regards to the microwave. So
Sounds
moving
like
on
necessity.
to more refurb talk. There have been a lot of refurbs going on around the Walt Disney Resort as a whole right now that have been looking kind of ugly. Like Epcot is a very prime example of this with the refurbs we've well, not the refurb, but the massive overhaul of that central entrance plaza in Future World. This is a trend that's been going on throughout the resort for I think a couple years now, where there's been all this massive construction, and that it doesn't really seem to be much care about the fact that it looks terrible. Is this something that's actually new, or has this been around for a while? And like, do people have opinions on this other than me thinking it looks like garbage?
What particular
I
projects
totally
are we
agree.
talking about?
I mean, like
Like I
there,
remember.
Unicore
yeah.
inventions. My
But
I mean, they're
I think it's
demolishing
Epcot-
it.
Epcot's got a lot of construction, but it's not just Epcot. I remember being there over the summer and coming off the monorail at the Magic Kingdom, and you walk down the monorail ramp, and it's just walls and fences everywhere. And for some people, that's their first, you're staying at a monorail resort, you take the monorail in the Magic Kingdom your first day, and the first thing they're seeing when they walk, like their first Disney park experience, is just all these chain link fences and walls everywhere. I mean,
3 out of 4
it's-
parks right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all over the place now.
I mean, Studios was really beat up there for a while in the
Yeah,
entryway.
now that one, that's the only one that looks good now.
I was saying this to Tom the other day when we were driving together. Is that I don't think this is just construction. I think this is deeper. I mean, like not just construction. I think this is deeper. Even with sightlines, I feel like they stopped caring about sightlines.
Yeah.
And because even if you drive on 2 of the major roads in Walt Disney World behind the new Galaxy's Edge, they didn't even finish the rock work. You just see like a piece. It looks like a chicken tender on a stick sticking up out of nowhere. And you can see it blatantly from if you're on a Disney bus or any of the 2 major roads pulling out of the parking lot. Like, the magic is instantly ruined. Like, oh, that's a fake mountain right there. And I know it's supposed to be for when you're in the park, but these are not expensive things where you can put a scrim on that's painted the same color, or just finish it for the extra $5K. Like, that is no money in the grand scheme of Disney, just to make it look prettier. And I think this trickles down to construction as well. Is that they're not? I don't think they care as much about sightlines anymore. They can just say, "Oh, something new is coming, so forgive how disgusting this looks," but they're not keeping in mind the families that only come here once every several years. And now in the background, you see, you see the construction over the construction wall. You see debris, and you see hanging rebar, and you see, like sheetrock coming down and drywall.
There's always been visible demo. I mean, Walt Disney tore down Tomorrowland in the mid-1960s. I mean, people could see that. So with demolition, I understand. Finished product, I do not. With sightline problems with finished product, especially in the age of computers, is unacceptable. In an age where, like, if they in the 1960s with height balloons were able to make sure that lands didn't intrude on other lands, then how in 2019, when you have the whole park as a digital model, do you not know that you're going to see that show building from an area you're not supposed to see it? It's just that they don't care. It's really that they don't care.
Yeah.
That show building is ruining my view from the Dahlia Lounge. That's how much it matters.
No, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about more on stage than that. Like, I think I agree with you. The off stage is kind of a problem too, but my bigger problem is just on stage. I don't like being in one area of a park and seeing something I'm not supposed to see.
Toy Story. Sorry, it's cold.
It's true though, and I think those are the little things, and that's that Disney magic. I mean, I'm sure everyone watches the Imagineering story because you're watching this. Yeah. But like when they talk about like those little things, that's why DCA at first didn't work, because like they just threw stuff together, and then they really thought about story and sight lines and what works, and those little things are what makes Disney Disney. Go to any theme park. You can go to Six Flags if you want, and you ride a lot of fun rides. There's fun rides there, but you come to Disney for those little things, and I think rant over. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, show over, actually. Thank you all for joining us. Do appreciate that. And if you want to go to Disney to check out some of these things, like the wonderful Rise of the Resistance that we gushed about, if you tuned out during that spoiler talk, go see it for yourselves. We recommend that you contact Never Grow Up Vacations, the official travel sponsor of WDWNT. They are an authorized Disney vacation planner whose focus is in making magic for their clients. And with over 20 years of experience booking Disney vacations, we're sure they can help you make your next trip even more magical. So head on over to wdwnt.travel to contact them about your next trip today. All right, folks, that is going to do it for tonight's show. We do have a post-show coming up right after this, so if you are one of our Wigs members, stay tuned. If you have no idea what I'm talking about...
Can I quickly mention something?
No, go ahead, by all means.
No.
I just want to quickly mention that my table is checkered right now because it's getting ready for Tony's very microwave Christmas special. It's happening tomorrow night right here on YouTube and WDWNtunes.com. A very special episode of WDW News Tonight. That's all I have to say.
It is going to be amazing. I've seen some of the prep for this. Tune in for that, folks.
I mean, I won't be there. I have the night off. I'm going to go ride Rise, but
you should watch. Like, it'd be great. You should see what they do with the show.
Tony's going to watch the show.
All right. Well, like I was saying, stay tuned for the post show if you're one of our Wigs members. If not, head over to patreon.com/WDWNT. For as little as $2 a month, you can get access to our post shows. You can do it right now and come sit with us for the post show tonight. That is going to do it for tonight's main show, though. We will see you all next week.
Sivako! A whole new world. Oh, that doesn't work at the end of the Oh, it doesn't work at the end of the show? Okay.
All right, folks who are here for the post show, bear with us just a moment while we clean up the internet a little bit, and we will be